good afternoon to everyone. Thanks for joining us today in MSK continuous web series. So we are doing a lot of interesting sessions in Unreal, Unity, and a lot of other areas. So we are looking forward for your support and to work towards a lot of sessions coming up. So we are looking forward for an interesting session from Mr. Muthu, the Happiness Room team. He is the official trainer of the Happiness Room, and the Happiness Room is the official training partner of Unreal Game Engine. So, yeah, I warm welcome on behalf of IMSK, Mr. Muthu and Mr. Kabir from the Happiness Room. Hi, Mr. Muthu. Thanks for
Um,
joining us, Mr. Muthu. It's a pleasure that you are joining us, and we are looking for an interesting session from you. Please go ahead. Thank you.
thanks a lot, Abbas. Okay, as Abbas mentioned that myself Muthu, I have 3 years of experience in gaming as well as architectural visualization plus VR projects, as well as I have a good knowledge in mobile application development also. So I'll walk you through what we are going to do, and I have some slides to show. Okay. So if you guys see today, we are going to see some Max. So it's not so hard to read. It's really easy. So, and about myself, I am myself Muthukavi, and I am a developer, and I have 3 years of experience in the industry. First, I stepped into the industry. I started using Unity. So after once I came into the industry, I came to know about the Unreal and the realistic effects of Unreal and everything. So I started learning that, and I have done some projects also. So I have a BE Computer Science Engineering from SNS College of Technology. So the VR application which I made was I have done 4 VR applications. One is architectural visualization, like walking through the villa, and other is first aid simulation, and another is fire safety simulation. I'll show you the videos which I have done, and another one is building simulations. So the AR projects is some if you guys see that some people might be a developer or anyone, but he doesn't know how to build a PC. So we did a project in AR where it tells us where to insert the RAM, what are the parts inside the CPU it contains. So we did some learning applications, and we done image target if we target something like if the uh, a product will be there. If you scan that, it will redirect you to the Amazon, and it will show the details and everything. And we also done some Vivekananda AR application where it will say codes and everything. So I'll show you the demo. So the I have also done some game applications. So if you see, this is a application VR project which we have done. So we are doing some CPR to the employee who has an emergency. So if you see here, so we will be guiding him through the VR. So what to do? We should first take the pin out, and we should pump the chest. So we have done this kind of applications. So another thing is we have done some. So this is the what I was talking about. If you see if the image target meets, you can see the details of the books and everything, and if we click the button, it will directly redirect you to the Amazon. So these are the applications which I have done. And today's agenda, I'll show you the agenda which we are going which will be I have planned for 1.5 hours. So first 10 minutes I'll be giving an introduction about the epic and blueprints and everything. So another after the introduction, we will be starting creating a player. So once that is done, we will be creating a enemy and a egg which we need to take it to the shelf. So it will take 40 minutes of time, and we will be creating a shelf. So after that, we'll have a questionnaires. So I'll show you the demo. Okay. So if you see, this cube is basically we are not going to import any models or anything. We are just going to use basic primitive materials. So I'm just going to click play and process. you can see the camera is static. If you go near, the red cylinder is the enemy. What you need to do is you need to take the Easter egg, which is the yellow spear, and you need to keep it in the shelf. See? Yeah, actually, I made the collision here. So we'll be doing this application, this game. We are going to use simple max function, not like complex one or anything. You don't need to be scared. We are just going to use a simple one. So I'll tell you about the okay. Ajanta is done, and blueprints. We'll be discussing about the blueprints. I'll tell you what how the blueprints is working. What is the life cycle of blueprints? So how everything I'll be discussing about in the session, and the two functions which I told you before was lerp and distance. So we'll be discussing more on these two mathematical functions. So okay, uh, that's it. Okay, we'll get started. Okay. I think everyone has Unreal. If you don't, no need to worry. You just go to Chrome and you just download Epic Games, Epic launcher, and if you open, you will have this kind of window. So on the left section, you can see the profile. I already linked to Facebook, and settings and downloads. And another four buttons are home, store, library, Unreal Engine. Okay, store is nothing but Epic Games also have some games which you can go there and you can buy. And library is the games which you bought. You can go into the library and you can check there. And Unreal Engine, which we are going to use for now. Once you click the Unreal Engine, you will see this tab. You will be having a 6 buttons top. If you see there, Unreal 4, Learning, Marketplace, Library, Twinmotion, UE5. Okay, UE4 is like it has news, blog, and everything they will be showing here. And learn section is if you are a beginner, if you need to learn something, or if you need to learn some other things like AR, virtual reality, or Magic Leap, XR, you can go to learn place and you can just surf, and you will be seeing Unreal online learning and community. You can go there and you can ask doubts and anything you can do in the learn section. And marketplace is nothing but that's the package or plugin. If you are a developer or if you are a level designer, let's say I am a developer and I doesn't have that much knowledge in level designing skills. So I don't need to learn something. Okay, just go to marketplace and search for the stuff you needed, and it will show. You can just buy. If you are lucky, the package will be free, or else it will cost something like it will be 400, 2000. Depends on the package which you are taking. So if you click add to cart, it will go to the purchase page, and you can just buy it and you can use in the Unreal Engine. So I'm just going to library. In the library session, where you will be able to see engine version. So engine version is what engine version you are using. I'm just currently using 4.26, and so I'm just closing this. If you need to download, you just go there and you can choose the version you needed. You can just click install. It will probably take a couple of minutes because it has a storage of 12 to 15 GB hardly. It will take some time. So I already have, so I'm not going to do that. And inside the my project section, you can able to view the projects which I have developed before. As if you're going to create a new, you just click launch. So it will take time. So I'll just go here. If you click new project, the same template will be opening from there also. So the template, we are just going to make a games. So we are not going to do some end display, or we are some projection mapping kind of things. We're just going to create a game. So I'm just going to click games, click on next. It will be super easy. You don't need to worry. If you have any doubts, just ping me in the chat. I'll respond immediately. So once you click the game template, when you come inside, there will be a subsection like subcategory. you can able to see the templates for games. For example, first person shooter, flying game, puzzle, rolling, third person, top down, everything will be there. You don't need to create from scratch. You just you can go if you're going to create a PUBG kind of a game, you just go to third person, you can click next and you can go there. You can go to the next page. If you're going to create a game like Fortnite or anything, you can just click first person. So I'm just going to click blank because we are not going to input any model, or we are not going to do anything. So we're just going to make a game using simple max and basic primitives. Okay, I'll just give next. So if you click next, you can able to view project settings. So what is the project settings? So we are going to create a project. You need some kind of things. So we are going to change. If you need, if you are going to do a project in C++, you can just click C++. If you need in Blueprint, you can. We are going to do in Blueprint Visual Scripting. So I'm just clicking Blueprint. This game is basically for desktop. You can use it for mobile also. I'm just leaving as it is, everything as it is. So down here, this is the directory. So in which directory you need to store your project, and this is the project name. So what is the project name you're going to give? So let me say that I'm just going to give seminar project or seminar prototype. And if you click create, it will probably open, it will be loads for some time and it will open the another screen. So probably this is it. It will look exactly. So this is the empty project. Okay, I'll show you the things. I'll explain you about the just give me a minute. Okay, I'll explain you about the Unreal Engine. So place actors, there is a window. Content browser, this is a window. World outliner, this is a window. And details, this is also a window. So if you're a beginner, you may not know about these things. I'll explain. Okay, this is a world. Okay, so I'm just navigating, right, using my mouse and the keys WASD. I'm just moving around the world. So there is a chair and a teapot as well as the plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click the chair. See, you will be having a chair in the world outliner. If you see the chair, the thing which are in the world will be seen in the world outliner. There is a static mesh actor, which is a chair, floor, a statue, table. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the chair. So I need to see the details. So what are the details they will provide? For example, if you are in a place, for example, I'm in from South India. I'm just you don't know me, okay, right? So you need to know my location, everything. So you can you will go somewhere and you can search. So for that, you can see here in the details, static mesh. You just click in the world outliner and you will see the details of this chair. See, there is a so many components here. So I'm not going to explain fully. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you about the transforms, materials, physics, collisions, static mesh. Okay, what is meant by transform? It's nothing. Transform is if you see this is the world. We are going to make a 3D game. The 3D means X, Y, Z. If it is a 2D, then probably only the X, Y will be there. So if you just click this arrow and right click on the mouse and you can move here. Okay. So once you move, you can check the details and location in X axis. The values are being changed. Okay. So I'm just moving Y also. The values are being changed. Z also, the values are being changed. So the transform is for indicating where the object, what is the location, so what is the rotation and what is the scale of the object. And materials is something, if you see the skin which we are having, right? So that is a material. So let me say that is a material. So inside that, the color, okay, the color which we are having is a material. You can change the color of the objects. And if you see physics, a object is like hollow if you don't have physics. If you have physics, it can collide, it can bump to each other. So physics is used for that. And yeah, that's it. So I'm just going to delete everything. Static mesh, chair, floor, because we don't need anything. Table. I'm just going to resize. Okay. If you see the content browser and place actors, I didn't mention you about that. Okay, I have deleted everything, so I need to import a plane. Like we'll say about the ground. I'm just going to search for the classes. I'm just going to type plane. You will see a actor, static mesh actor. So I'm just drag and drop it in the world. So if I drag and drop it in the world, you can see in the world outliner. Before I told you before, right? So what we are going to do is I need to set the value like location to 000. I'm just making it as 000. It will probably into the 000 axis. See, everything is here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scale a bit. So it's 10, 10, 10. Okay. We'll make a big. Okay. So that is done. And inside the play sectors, you can see the lights, cinematics, visual effects, geometry, volumes, all everything. So in the basics, you can able to see empty actor, cube, sphere, cylinder. These are the things which we are going to use. So you don't need to import anything. Okay. And content browser is something. It's like a file explorer for the project. It contains all the files you needed for the project, but it doesn't matter if you're using it or not. You can just keep it in the content browser. You can use it whenever is possible. So if you see, this is a world. This is, we'll say this is a world one. For example, level one. Okay. If you need to create another world, for example, you just I showed you a video, right? This CPR. This is a office environment. Okay. So we also have the workstation environment. For that, we will create a file, new level, and you can go there and you will be placing some landscape and everything. You can just go there. It will be a two worlds, like kind of a two worlds. One is office and another one is a workstation. So the both will be having a static mesh, like mesh. So it will be stored in the content browser. If you see audios, videos, everything will be stored here. You can use it in the worlds, whatever, in what world you need, you can use it from the content browser. So I'm just going to create a new folder. In programming or in doing a project, the main thing is you need to align everything properly. You need to give the name properly. So I'm just going to give blueprint. And I'm going to give another folder name materials. So why I'm saying this is because I am a developer, and I'm not only the developer. There will be, if you are going to join in a company, there will be so many developers will be working along with you. The naming should not only be known to you. It should be a public, like it should be known for everyone. If uh, I'll say, like, if I'm just creating a blueprint as ASDD, no one knows what this is, right? So you need to name properly. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I have a content browser. I have two content browser. In content browser one, I'm just going to blueprint. In content browser two, I'm just going to materials. If you see in the content browser one, like I am inside the blueprints, I'm just going to create a blueprint. See, right click on the mouse inside the content browser, and you will see the options. If you click blueprint class, you'll be able to see a common classes. We are not going to use pawn, character, player, controller, anything. We're just going to use actor. I'm just clicking the actor, and I'm going to name player. Okay. We will start creating a player. Okay. So if I double click this, you will be able to see the another window pops up, and it is the actor blueprint. So it contains three windows: viewport, construction script, event graph. So okay, viewport. What is meant by viewport? Viewport is nothing for the visual representation. Like this is the empty actor. If you see, it's an empty actor. I'm going to add a cube for the player. Okay, I'm just added a cube. zoom in, zoom out, see, cube. Okay, I'm just clicking compile and save. So I have created a player which is a cube, but he doesn't have life. So we are going to give a life, and we need to give a color to the player. I'm just I'm just clicking on the mouse, right click, go to material, and what I'm going to say is m, which is a material underscore, and I'm going to name player, and again you can double click this, you will see a material property. So there is a base color, metallic, roughness. We are not going to talk so much in this. We're just going to add a base color. We're just going to add a color. We don't need any shiny. We don't need any roughness like hard textures, anything. We're just going to give a color to the player. So you can see a palette. Just click here and click on the constant 3 vector. Okay, drag and drop it inside the blueprint. You can see there is a node. This is the output node and this is the input node. What I'm going to do is I'm just drag and drop it in the base color. Okay. Okay. If you double click on the node, you can just see the color picker. I like blue very much, so I'm just going to give a blue color. See, just give something like light shaded. Okay. Okay. I'll just click apply. Okay, yes, it's applied. So what I'm going to do is I'm just navigating to the player. Go to the cube. You can able to see the details. Okay. In the detail section, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give the material, which we created now. We're just going to click the drop down. Just enter M player. You can able to view this one. See, the color has been changed. Compile, save it. Okay, the player has been created, but he is not placed in the world. So we are just going to place the player in the world. What I'm going to do is drag and drop, and sorry, I just drag and drop wrongly. This is the material. You just need to drag and drop the player blueprint. If you see, it's collided into the ground. I need to move up. Okay. Okay. Yes. Perfect. The player has been placed, and I'll just move to the corner. Yeah. So the player is being located in 390, 220 of Y and 50 of Z. Okay. Okay. This is done. So the next thing what I need to do is I need to fix a camera. So we need to see it, right? So I'm just going to fix a camera. Go to the place actors, click on the camera, place it here. Yeah, you can see here, right? There is a viewport. You can see the camera output. Just move up, move up, move up, move up, and rotate. I'm just using my keyboard keys for changing the translate. If you just click W, it will have this kind of arrow. If you click this is used for translating the actor, and if you press E, it will point it as for rotation. Yes, I'm just rotating it. And R for scale. Sorry, I don't need to scale. I'm just going to center it a bit. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, I'll just hit play. Okay, there is audio. We don't need audio. Okay, I'm just going to hit play again. If you see the camera, it's not coming from the camera. So what we need to do is just click the camera and go to the details. You can able to view auto player activation. If you just click the player 0, it will automatically, what it will do is the input field will be from the camera. See, it is from the camera, right? Okay. Now what we are going to do is we need to make the cube to move around. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go to the blueprint, event graph. So this is where we are going to work. Okay. I'll explain you about the blueprint. If you see in my blueprints, you can see the graph, event graph. In the event graph, you can see event begin play, acted begin overlap, and tick. And there is a macros, functions, variables. We are not going to talk too much in the macros and the functions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you about the life cycle, which I told you before, right? Okay. Oh, the life cycle. I don't know if anyone is interested in anime. I like so much anime. So how the anime works is like they'll be drawing it and they'll play. If you see, there will be a notebook and they'll sketch it. And if you just turn the pages so fastly, it will be like animation. The same kind of thing happens in the every game engines. There will be a first frame and on the further frames, and it will be rendering continuously. So once the frames is over, it will be a end frame. Same, we will be having a even begin play. So this we will be calling this is as a first frame. So what I'm doing is I'm just clicking on the input. Okay. Like the output of the begin play. I'm just dragging, it will have the, you will be seeing the same option. Okay. You just click print screen. Okay. I'm just printing, I am the person. Now, let me say this is the first frame which is running. Okay. So I'll compile this, save. I'll just go to the world. I'm just going to hit play. I think you saw this, right? If you see here on the left side, this is the first time which is running. It will be running only once. But if you see for the input, for example, if you need to do animations or such kind of things, you just need to update. You just need to update everything. Like you just need to continuously it should update. Okay. For that, even tick will be performing. I'll just print string. Yes, I am updating. Continue. Yes, I'm updating. That's it. Okay. Okay. If you see here, I'm just going to press play. The same output will be displayed here. Just watch what is going to happen. See. Yes, I'm updating. It will update every time. Okay. Okay. So this is the even begin play. This is the even tick. And what are all the other life cycles which we have is you just click on right click on the mouse. You'll be able to see this. See here, add event. If you go down, the star symbol indicates that already the even begin play has been placed. You can't add 2 to 3 begin plays. You can able to add only one begin play for not only begin play, tick, and everything will be can be added only one time in one blueprint. For this blueprint, okay. I'm just clicking add event. You can see the begin play in tick. I explained those two. I guess everyone is clear about this, and I'll just explain you about the end play, and I'll explain you about the destroyed. Okay. So let me say, if you are going to, if the game is ending or the object is, the game is suddenly stops, so this end play will be called. If you've been destroyed by another player or like some kind, like if you see in PUBG or Fortnite, if a player shoots, he will be destroyed, right? This event will be called. So we don't need this anything. Okay. Everything for the, I guess everyone is aware of the blueprint now. So now what we are going to do is we are just going to make the player to move around the environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on the Okay, let me see. I'm just going to click right click on the keyboard. If you see, there are many keyboard events like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do is use W. Okay. See, there is a event for pressed and released string. W has been pressed. Okay. Okay. I'm just hitting play and I'm just pressing W. No, nothing happens except a spear is just moving around. No, nothing happens. So what we need to do is I'll just delete the player start also. See, nothing happens. Okay, what I'm going to do, what is happening is the Unreal Engine is not taking the input from the player. So the previously we have done right for the camera, we are processing it. We are telling the Unreal Engine that the camera in output need to be rendered. The same thing which we need to do, like we need to click the cube. Just go to the you'll see that input. Just go to the input section in the details. Click on the auto receive input, player 0. So I'm just saving everything because we should not trust our system or Unreal Engine, because when we are doing the project, it suddenly crashes and we will be losing all the things. So whatever you do, just go and save everything. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is hit the play. See, yes, I'm receiving the input. W has been pressed. I'm pressing so many times. Okay. Um, but we don't need this. It's kind of even begin play. It won't be updating every time. So what I'm going to do is we are going to create a vertical horizontal axis input from the world settings, project settings. Just click on the, if you see here, go to settings, hit the project settings. You can able to view your project settings. Just dock it in the window. Click on the inputs, input. Okay. You can just go to engine. You can see input here. So what I'm going to do is axis mapping. I'm just going to give axis mapping. Whenever I press W, yes, A or B, it should returns whether if I didn't click, it should return 0. If I click, it should return 1. If I return anything else, for example, let's say W is the forward. If I click W, it should return 1. If I click yes, it should return -1, so that we can just add the location. And you can get the values. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click add axis mapping. You can see a drop down has been came. I'm just going to say vertical. Okay, give me a minute. So if you see, vertical means just think it as vertical as a ladder. Vertical will be always be standing straight. Okay, everyone will be some may be confused. Okay, a colleague which has been working with me, he has a very good knowledge, but he will be confused for the vertical and horizontal. That's not a problem. I'm just saying for a shortcut, I'm just saying vertical means it will be like a ladder, and horizontal means it will be like a road, like a plane. Okay, I'm just going to hit so vertical. What vertical means it will go straight. Okay, so I'm just going to use W keyboard. And another thing I'm going to do is add another axis mapping. So it's yes. You can see in the keyboard section, yes. Okay. Okay. When I press W, it should say that +1. When I hit yes, it should say -1. So I'm just typing -1. Okay. We are again clicking on the axis mapping, and I'm just going to do horizontal. So what it says is A keyboard. Just go to keyboard and you can able to view keyboard A. It will be -1. I'll explain you why I'm putting this. And D. Okay, this will be +1. Okay, just everyone just imagine that you are in 10th grade or 10th class, and you'll you know that you will be having a graph like x and y, right? X and y. So I'll just define. Okay, if you see, the graph will be like this. So this is y, this is x, right? And if you see, this is positive, right? This is negative. Y, this is positive, this is negative. I'm right. Okay, the same thing. If you see in the keyboard, the keys will be W, yes, okay, A and D. The same thing. Plus is for D, so +1. A is minus, so I'm just saying -1. W is plus, I'm just saying +1. S is for -1. Okay, I guess everyone understood this. If you not, please tell me in the chat. I'll explain you a way easier. So what I'm going to do is now I just added in the project settings vertical and horizontal. I'm just going to player. So we'll close this because we are not going to we are not going any changing anything in the material. And so we have deleted everything, right? So I'm just going to right click on the name which we gave vertical, right? It's a axis value. So just a moment. Vertical. Okay, event, vertical event. We also need a value as well as the event. So I'm just taking the output pin of the vertical axis. I'm just going to print string.
Muthu, sorry to interrupt. Kindly remove that red line on the screen. Kindly erase it. At the top, you have that erasing tool in the Zoom. Take it and remove it.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry for the interruption. And fellow audience, kindly, if you have any questions, until now, please feel free to ask your questions. Either drop your questions in the chat. Thank you.
Eraser. Okay. Oh, yes.
It's clear. Thank you, Muthu. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to print the value. Okay. In Unreal, so you don't need to worry about the changing the data type. Like if you're, for example, for the other language which you take for C, C++, in the like other language, other engine, what you need to do is if you're just going to convert a value like float value into a string, means you just need to type it as .toString or do something. We don't need to do anything. You just drag and drop here, automatically it will convert. Okay, so the same thing I'll put for horizontal also. Horizontal, just copy this, paste it here, just connect the input and output pins. Okay, so we'll check. See, it's continuously printing 0. If you see why it's continuously printing 0 means I have not pressed anything. It's continuously the value default will be 0. Wait, I'll show you in the. So if just think it as 0, 1, it will be in 0. If you press anything, it will automatically graduate to 1. Okay. So I'll process. Okay. So I'm just pressing W. See, it's coming 1. The another 0 is something. It's the vertical. Okay, so horizontal. See, I'm also confusing. So and S is -1. D +1. A -1. Okay, it's working perfectly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the player to move. Just delete everything. Okay, I already told you, right? The location. If you see, this is the location. When I'm moving, you can see the location. Okay. If the cube forward is X. So in the Unreal Engine, if, the thing, the forward is X. The X-axis is the forward, and Y is the right vector, and Z is the up vector. So what we are going to do is we need to update the location. So how can we update the location? We can just go and we can say there is a minus 260, right? You just we need to do like this whenever I press WS or anything. So for that, what I'm going to do is set actor location. Why I'm putting the set actor location is this is the actor, right? We are going to set a location for the actor. You just click on the right click and tell it as set actor location. Sorry. Yeah, you can able to view set actor location in the utilities transformation. See, now what I'm going to do is whenever I press, what I'm going to do is whenever a vertical, whenever someone press vertically, I need to update a actor location. Okay. Okay. So we have the actor location, we have the axis value, and we need speed, right? We need to control the speed of the player. I'm just go to variables, just click on the plus symbol. You can able to create a new variable. I'm just saying I'll be saying as speed. Already I said it as speed. If you just click on the icon, you can determine the what data type we need to use. I guess everyone knows about the data types, right? If you not, it's so simple. Integer is whole value, like whole value in a sense. 1, 2, 3, minus, everything like plus or minus. The whole values is integer. Point values are float. Okay, float. And if you see boolean is true or false, string is string is something like a words like muttu is a string. Okay. And the vector is I already mentioned you, right? A vector is a 3 axis. It may be a 3 or 2 axis. 2 means xy only, 3 means x y z. So what time we need a float value. Okay, excuse me. Okay, I'm just going to click compile. You can able to see the value. So I'm just going to give 0.5. So what I'm going to do is take if you just drag and drop it in the event graph, you can able to see get speed or set speed. We don't need to set the speed, we just need to get the speed from the value variable. I'm just going to get the speed, I'm just multiplying it from the axis value. Just take the pin out, press, you can be able to see in the numpad, you will be seeing the star. Automatically it recommends you float into float or int into float, or what you need. We just need float into float. I'm just giving this. Okay. Okay, I already mentioned, right? We have the values. Okay, we okay, we have the values. So the vertical means it need to move front or back, right? So I already mentioned you, right? If you get the forward vector, the forward vector is the objects forward. Okay, so what I'm going to is I'm just going to click here, get actor forward. Okay, I just we're just having had a get forward vector. We're just going to multiply it from the value, float into vector, vector into float. Okay, vector into float. Just connect the dots. Okay, so what I'm doing is in the forward vector you will be receiving in the forward vector you will be receiving the value as 1 0 0 because it only returns the x value. But if it is a right vector, what it will do is, sorry, if it is a right vector, what it will do is 0 1 0. If it is up vector, 0 0 0 1. If you have any doubts, please ping me in the chat. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we just did everything. I'm just going to click okay. So I got the vector, multiplying it from the speed and getting the axis value. They are like you can consider this as offset. Okay, I'm just clicking. See, nothing is happening. It's moving a bit, it's nothing happening. So okay, why this is happening is, if you see here, if you see here, the cube has been placed actually on the position -260. It suddenly goes to 0. So why this is happening is, we are just taking the speed, multiplying the axis value, and multiplying it from the forward vector. Forward vector will only return 1, and axis value it only returns 1, and we have the speed, it won't be moving. So what we need to do is, we need to get the current actor location. Like we should get the location 260, like it's in 238. It's in 238. We need to get the actor location. So what I'm going to do is the same thing which we done. Just click for set. We just asked for set actor location, right? We are just going to print get actor location. It will recommend you. Yes. Yeah. The yellow color means vector. What I'm going to do is, the value I'm getting from the result plus the current location. Okay. Plus vector plus vector. Okay. And returning it. Save, compile, just hit play. See, the cube has not been moved anywhere. It stays it stays where it is. I'm just going to click. See, yeah, it's moving. We gave the life to the cube. Sorry, the player. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to hit. I'm just going to give a value like 2.5. It's moving so slow, right? And I'm just going to align something. So it should it will probably look nice. When you click plus when you click on the lines, it will give you point, and you can choose wherever you need. I'm just going to see here. Okay. Okay. So we done it for the vertical. Now what we are going to do is for the horizontal. So just delete it. Just copy everything here. Copy, paste. Give the axis value here. Connect the horizontal to set actor location. Instead of forward vector, what we need to do is, it needs to move right or left. So I'm just going to say get actor right vector. Okay. See, we finished this. Okay, finish this. I'm just going to hit play. Sorry, process. See, yes, it's moving so fast. Plus, I can move any direction I need it. I'm just clicking W, S, D, anything I need it, I can move. Okay. The player has been finished. Yes, we have successfully completed the player. We have created a player, and we gave some life to him. I'm just going to come in this. I'll say this vertical movement. What I did is, I just commented this. So just select everything, click C, and say whatever you need, you can type like anything you need. Horizontal movement. Okay, you can just drag and okay. Yes, everything is done. I'm just going to close the project settings because we are not going to use this project settings. I'm just closing it. Now what we are going to do is, we are just going to create another blueprint class actor. It will be someone like enemy. I'll say enemy. Okay. What I'm going to do is double click on the enemy. I'm going to add a component. I explained it before. If you have any doubts, please stop me here. I just you can just text in the chat. I can explain you again also. I'm just going to click on the add component. I'm just going to give a cylinder, a basic primitive shapes. Yes. And we are going to add a materials. Yes. go to content browser 2, again right click material. I'll say this as enemy, double click constant 3 vector, drag and drop, give the output of the constant 3 vector to the base color, click. For the danger, always it will be red, right? I'm just clicking red, like, yes, okay, apply. It will take some time. Yes, and I'm just going to enemy, click on the cylinder, go to materials. Okay. Just a second. Okay, some bug actually. Wait, okay. We will start creating. Just give me a minute. I'm just opening a project. So now what we are going to do is, I'm just going to explain you about the lerp. So using the lerp function, we are just okay. Where is the yes? Using the lerp function, we are just going to make the object follow. Okay, what is mean by lerp? Lerp is nothing. Linearly interpolates between A and B. For example, if you have a point A, so let me say if you have a point A and point B, the point A value will be and there is alpha. Wait, I'll just erase everything. Okay, so let me say A, B, and alpha value. So what lerp will do is A will be having a value. For example, 3. Let me say. Okay, and B will be having a value 15. Okay, if alpha is 0, then the output will be 3. If the alpha is 100, the output will be 15. Okay, so I just said using the float value, but I'll say you using vector. Okay, I'm just clicking the enemy cylinder. Will give enemy. Yes, I'm just going to give a color. You can just go and see in the viewport. Okay, now what we are going to do is, so we are going to make a lerp function. Okay, for lerp, I'll explain you. Okay, so I am in, as I said before, I am in South India. You need to check whether I am near you or not. So what you need to do, you need to continuously check whether I am here or not, and you need to check the distance between both of us. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to I think already you know that event tick what it does. Okay, so I'm not going to explain about the event tick. So I'm just going to tell you about a function named distance. Get distance. Okay, okay, get distance too. If you see here, distance, it returns a float value. It returns for let me I'll just drag and drop the cylinder enemy here. So if you see, player is far away from the enemy, right? If player comes closer to the enemy, means you need to know whether he is coming closer to me or not. So for that, we are just checking on what distance the player is. So I'm just going to click a variable. I'll say the name as player. We need to change the type to object types. Actor, yes, the player is actor, right? And it is a object reference. So I'm just drag and drop get give to the other vector. So take the output value, return value, it's a float, right? You need to say if this is less than or equal to 500 means what it should we need a, it's like a radar. Okay, if he is within the 500 meter, we are going to tell, yeah, the player is in within the region. The red color is the boolean. I'm just taking the pin out. Just click branch decision tree, right? It's a decision tree, it returns true or false. See, I'm just going to print player is within the area. Okay, I'll hit play. See, the player is within the area. Reject. If you move, no, it's not working because we have assigned, we have just created a player. Okay, but we did not assign the player. So what I'm going to do is this, you can see the eye icon, right? This is a public or private, like the access modifiers. If you click the eye icon, it is a public as an access modifier. I'm just going to click on the enemy. You can see here default. Click here, or you can use the pick actor from scene, like this pick icon. You can just click and pick it. Okay. See, he is not within the area actually. Yeah, now he is in the within the area. Yeah, now he is not in the area. He's within the area. Okay. Yeah, it's working fine now. The distance is working fine. If you have any doubts, please ping me in the chat. I'll just open the chat. Okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just delete the print string. I'm just aligning some. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is set the actor location. Whenever the player or the enemy is within the 500 meters, enemy should chase the player and he need to kill the player, right? If he doesn't that, then what is the matter of creating the enemy? Okay. So what I'm going to do is same thing which we created. Set actor location for the if you see here, the target self means this blueprint. What is this blueprint? This is the enemy blueprint. So whenever this gets updated, the value gets updated, the blueprint, enemy blueprints also gets updated. Okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is we are going to use the lerp function. Lerp. So there are many lerp functions are there, like color, see, float, rotator, transform, vector. So we just need the vector because we are just taking the location of the player and the location of the current actor, and we are just going to return something. So what I'm going to do is just drag and drop here. No, it's not working, right? So what we need to do is get the actor location. Yes, if you see here, he returns the value. I'm just aligning a bit. Okay. And I'm just again what I'm going to do is get the current actor location. Get actor location. Okay. If you see okay, the lerp function has a target actor location plus a actor location and a b actor location. So what it does is returns a value. Okay, I'm just going to return a value and give it to the set actor location. The other thing is we need to give the alpha. So I'm just taking the delta seconds and going to give to alpha. So what is maybe the delta seconds is every time whenever the event tick is whenever the event tick is rendering, it actually returns a delta seconds. So I'm just going to give, okay, let's test it out. I'm just hitting play. See, I'll just process. Yes, it's come fastly, right? It suddenly reaches to the player. So what we need to do is we need to create a speed, and we need to multiply it, and we need to give it to the alpha, because the speed of the delta seconds is actually too much. Okay, I'm just going to create a variable speed, and its value will be float, and I'm just going to set a value as 0.5, drag and drop it here. It will ask for get speed or set speed, and multiply float into float, right? Yes, I'm just going to give alpha. Okay, so let's test it out. What is happening now? See, it's asset process. Yeah, still the speed is high. Okay, so let's do a one thing. Okay, we'll just decrease the speed. For now, it will be like 0.1. Yeah, still it's speed. Okay, just a moment. Okay, so we will check whether the what the value it's returning. Just delete it. Okay, so see, it's actually the value is pretty not speed that expected. So now I found the issues. The issue is the value which we gave, right? The actor location should be on the A, because it only reaches the return value. It only reaches the end, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just if you just place the cursor in the A, and if you click control, you can just change the pin here, and let's test it out. See, yes, it's chasing, but it's like old grandma. It's too slow to so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the speed. See, yes, it's really competitive. He's following me. But even if I merge, he doesn't even care. So I will just follow you wherever you go. I'll just follow you. He says like that. No, what we need to do is whenever the cylinder, like the enemy touches the player, the player need to be dead, right? Okay, just give me a second. Yes, this this looks nice. Okay. Okay, I told you before, right? About the physics. So whenever a person collides, a collision happens, we need to know, we need to detect. So what I'm going to do is create a box collision. So what it basically does is, you can see here, right? Gizmos. So whenever a person or anything touches here, it returns a value. It detects. It is an event. It detects, and it will tell the blueprint that someone has been touched me. So what we are going to do is I'm just going to place here, and I'm just going to press R, scale it bigger, even graph. I'm just going to even graph. So if you see, I'm just you can go to the add event. See, there is a collision actor begin to overlap. Okay, so what it does is whenever a person or a collision happens at the first time, this function returns a value, and we need to check whether the actor is the player. So what I'm going to do is get the player, give, and we are going to take the branch. And I'm just printing. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just saying, man, you died. Okay. So let's test it out whether it's working or not. See, yes, man, you died. It's again printing. It's again printing. Yeah, it's working nice, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this. We are not going to destroy anything. We're just going to hit him from the game. Set actor hidden from the game. So I'm just going to click the tick icon. So what happens is it will hide the player from the world. See? Yeah. Yes, we made the player died. We'll just print something. You can't escape from me. Okay. Yeah, this is done. Let me say this as comment collision. I'm just saying the comment as collision, and this will be lerp or something. You need a tick or follow mechanism, right? Yes. Yeah. Now if you see, we have made the player, we made the enemy, and other thing we need to do is we need to create the egg or anything you need. Like it can be anything. So for me it's a egg. If you can name anything you want, you can just name it as bunny or something. Okay, if you see the same functionality happen, like the same thing, the same functions and everything is going to happen in the egg, which we need to take away from the enemy, which are stolen from the enemy from the shelf, and we need to get the Easter egg to the shelf. So what the same functionality is going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate the enemy blueprint, and I'm just going to say Easter egg. If you guys want to rename something, or if you have a good name, please tell me in the chat. I'll just rename it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete the cylinder. We don't need the same component for enemy as well as the Easter egg. So I am going to add spear because the egg will be in the spear shape, right? Yes, spear. And what I'm going to do is we are going to create a material. The same thing. We are just duplicating it, and I'm just saying egg. So let me say a color will be like a yellowish color. Yes. So I'm just going to the egg, spear, material, egg. See the color has been came. Color has been integrated, and everything is here is quite good. So what I'm going to do is just drag and drop it in the world. Oh, sorry. Again, my mistake. This is a material, right? We just need to go to the blueprint, drag and drop the egg here. Yes. Okay. And what we need to do is you need to pick, you need to tell who is the player. I'm just telling this is the player. Everything is done. What I'm going to do is, yeah, see, automatically because it's basically within the region, the egg and the player who is 500 meters low, less. So it automatically comes near. So what I'm going to do is just go to the egg. I will say you can't touch me. If you did, you are dead. Okay, I'm just giving something like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just placing the player far away from. See what I'm going to do is see. Yes, he's coming forward. He's coming. Yes, we did this. What I'm going to do is the world is too small, right? The plane is too small. I'm just going to make it as 50, 50, 50, 50. No, 50 is too large. 25, 25, 25 will be nice. Okay. We'll make, we'll check the camera. Yeah, the output is good. Yes. So now what we are going to do is we are just going to create a shelf. We have finished the player, we have finished the enemy, we have finished the Easter egg. Everything is works good. We just need to create a shelf so that the egg can be moved to the shelf. So what I'm going to do is right click on the blueprint, go to the blueprint class, same actor. I'm going to say it as shelf. Okay. So I'm just double clicking it. So we are just going to make a shelf here. So what are all the things we needed for shelf? Nothing, just we need a 4 cubes. Cube. Scale it, move, and again duplicate this. Okay, again duplicate this, rotate. Probably we are making a, sorry, we are making a shelf here from the Unreal Engine, right? This is okay for now. I'm just rotating it. For the exact rotation, you can go here and you can just give 90. Okay. Yes. So just compile, save, drag and drop the shelf. Yes, it's nice, right? We have made a shelf from the Unreal Engine. I'm just rotating it, facing the player. Let me say end. Yes. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play. Let me check what is going to happen. See, I'm just taking a player. He is coming near me. He's coming near me. I'm into the shelf. Boom. Yes, game on. No, nothing is happening because if you see, we made the shelf, but we didn't give any functionality, right? We need to give a functionality to the shelf. I'm just tilting this. Go to shelf. So I'm just going to give a collision in the entrance. Okay. Add component, collision, box collision. Compile. Just move to the entrance. Scale it. So if the egg touches the collision, then we need to say the game we won. Okay. Yes. So we don't need anything this. We just need the actor begin play. What I'm going to do is create a variable named egg. So what I'm going to do is object type. As I already told you, object types are the inside the object types there will be actor because the egg is an actor. It is object reference. Drag and drop the egg. Get. Give it as a public because we need to assign the egg variable. And if you see, I'm just going to say equal to. It will automatically ask for the equal object. I'm just giving this and just creating a branch decision tree. So where I'm just saying if the egg is uh, inside the collision, then print string. I'll say thank you for saving me. I am in the safer hands now. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I'm just going to give commands. Win play. Let's me say win play. Okay. Okay. What I'm going to do is save. Let me test it out. I'm just going to hit play. See, I'm just going to enter. What? Nothing is happening. Why? Because as I already told you, we did not mention that egg. Still, it will be returning as undefined. So what I'm going to do is click on the pick actors from scene. Click here. You can able to see the Easter egg, or else you can go here and you can just click Easter egg. Easter egg. It will come here. See, I'm just going to follow. It will follow me. Yes. Thanks for saving me. Right? It returns. Thanks for saving me. After we went inside, if the egg touches the player, it is been destroyed. We will fix that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a variable not here. Okay, wait. We'll create a shelf here. Shelf. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basic wall. Basic wall. Yeah, everything is looks fine. Actually, this is a prototype. So for that, this really actually looks good. So we are just having a only one enemy and egg. We are just taking the egg so easily. So let me say this is a first round. So if you are creating a level 2, I passed the first level. I'm going to create a second level. I'm just duplicating the enemy, placing here, and creating another enemy, placing here. So let's see here. He's following. He's following. Yeah, everyone is following. See, yeah, it will be a difficult one. So for example, I'm just going to do something like this. And make the egg behind the enemy. If you see, yes, you can able to view, right? But okay, I'll do one thing. Okay, let me play. So now what I'm going to do is I want to take the egg to the shelf, but there are three enemies who is protecting the egg. See, I'm just moving forward. Yes. What I'm going to do is see. Yeah. Yes. I get caught. I think the collision is no. It's right. Yeah. I think I just touched the play egg. So I'll explain you about the things which we will do. We will do a recap. Okay. Yeah. Actually, the prototype has been done. If you need, actually this is a bit difficult for me also. I'll make this. See. Yes. Okay, I'll do a recap. So what we have done is we just created a two folders, which is a blueprints, materials, and the starter content is defaultly came from the project settings. So inside the blueprints, you can able to view there are 4 blueprints which we created, and in the content browser, you can able to view there are inside the content materials, you can able to view 3 materials. Okay, so for the play, what we have done is we just created an input from the project settings. So the input from the project settings is the vertical and horizontal axis which we have done. We did some simple movement, like the movement has not been made using the physics or anything. In the physics, you will be creating using the velocity, those kind of things, but we are not done using that. We just made using the by adding the current location to the some value, and it returns like another value, that is the new location. And if you see, this is the blueprint. I'll share you the docs when the session is over in the chat room. On the forward vector, I told you, right? The forward vector is it returns x y z as x as 1 and y z as 0 0, because the forward vector means the straight forward to the object. For example, I can show you in the begin play. Even begin play, I'm just going to print string. Print string is basically used for debugging some values. Okay, I'm just going to use get forward vector, get actor. So something is happening. Oh, sorry, actually, wait, just give me a minute. Okay, something is happening in the Unreal Engine. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'll just open it. If you guys have any doubt, please just ask me in the chat room. Actually, the session has been really came to the end. We just used two simple max function, the lerp and the distance. So using that, we just made a game. This will probably work for the hackathons. If you guys have heard of gameathons, like game hackathons or game jams, the game jams will be conducted every year on January, and many many game jams are going on. You just participate there, and you can just learn many things. If you're going for a single day hackathon, you should come up with a good project. Okay, you should come up with a good like these kind of project. Like this is a full complete one, you can just use this project and you can develop a game. And it hardly took 1 to 1.5 hours for making the prototype. And probably, and you can spend more time on the UI, and as well as for doing some particle systems and particle effects and everything. So I'll do what I'll do is I'll play, right? Forward vector, print string. So we'll check what it returns. Okay, see, it returns, as I told you, 100, right? See in the website 100. If you see in the if you see the get actor right vector, someone has any idea what it will come? Can anyone can say what it prints? Okay, I'll see. It will say as x as 0, y as 1, z as 0. So probably we use this. And the set actor location is as I already told you, right? Target means self. If you are setting a different actor, like if you need to set a different actor, you just drag and drop the, for example, I'm just going to say egg. Object type, right? Egg is object type, actor, object reference. Just drag and drop in the egg. You can just give, but I'm not going to do that because I need to move the self factor. So this is basically done. What I already explained, right? Getting the forward vector, multiplying it from the values. It will have some values. It will some return, like it will return a vector, and if you see the get actor location, it will returns the current actor location. Every time the current actor location will be varies, right? So whenever we move, the current actor location will be varying. So if we plus, we will get a will get a actor location. So this is how they done for horizontal axis also. And same thing for Easter egg. In the event tick, we are just calculating the distance between the player as well as the egg. We are just calculating, and I'm just checking whether is the egg is within the area of within the region of 500 meters. Then it will probably indicate yes, the player is in the 500 meters. And what I'm doing is I'm just lerping. I'm just giving the actor location as A and the player location as B. And alpha, I'm just set as 0.5 speed. And I'm just giving the output value of the value speed and the delta seconds. I'm just giving alpha. And the lerp returns the new location. I'm just giving to set actor location. And actor begin play. As I already told you, I am having a collision as well as the player is also having a collision. Whenever they two bump each other, I'm going to know. So if not only the player, this collision detects everything. So I'm just filtering out using the condition. So using the condition, I'm just filtering out. Using the branch, I'm taking if the player, then I'm just saying actor return, and you have touched me. If you did, you are dead. I'm just printing it. The same thing for the enemy also. The same functionality goes here. And for the shelf, right? We didn't do any programming here. We just said if the egg touches me, the game is over. So that's all. So thank you for the session. Actually, we just made a simple prototype. If you guys any doubts, please say.
Thanks everyone once again for joining us, and thanks to Happiness Room and Muthu on the great session on today. Thank you so much, and thanks Kabir for arranging everything. Thank you, Mr. Kabir, and thanks to all the participants for those who are joining us today. Thank you so much.